Another one.
Do you feel like a code monkey? So there are some conceptions in the tech world that software engineers are only smart enough to code. What? I never heard of that before. Thinking about other things is completely prohibited. That's what managers are for. Yes, sure, some of the managers do a really good job at it, but lots of the top tech companies hire managers just for the managerial skills. By design, they are not supposed to understand coding well. Like, I don't know. Um, why not just take the top performing manager at Walmart and land him in Google then? Okay. I have seen it so many times that people came to software engineering because they love the tech world, but slowly they just accept the fact that they have been put into a box. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Your job is to make sure it works, not to think beyond that. You should focus on very important decisions like how do we name this variable? Is the code generic enough? What if in the future we decide to change it? Let's try to imagine imaginary changes nobody has any plans to do. I don't think the world works this way. If you are smart enough to code, you are probably also smart enough to think about business decisions. I don't believe the BS that only managers and product managers are good at it. Do they really go to a special school about decision making that I haven't heard of? No. That they are just applying common sense and simple logic. They are confident enough to believe in their common sense. That's all. If you feel like you are slowly losing your passion because you have been put in a box, don't just accept it. You are not a monkey. What? You came into this world to enjoy what you were doing, not just to fill a very narrow position that suits your manager well. Wow. That was intense. That was intense. All right. So I am going to take exception to one, well, to a lot of things that people said, this person said, but the part where you came to this world to enjoy what you're doing, I don't know if that's true. Is it a nice to have to enjoy what you're doing? Yes. But I think I think you're put in this world to, make a difference, to add value. And so, anyways, let's go and start the timer, right? Here's the deal with this question. So I don't I agree that some some companies might treat the developers like that, but I think though a bigger part of the problem is that software engineers they allow themselves to be dictated to and given what they should do instead of thinking like no one no one can stop you from thinking. No one can stop you from using your brain. I think that there part of the problem that I think that happens in software engineering, software development and stuff like that is that you don't want to be held liable and accountable for the work that you do. So, it's easier for someone to tell you to do something instead of saying, "Actually, I think that this is the best option." And I think and here's why. But guess what? To be that type of leader, it's going to take extra time, extra effort, might have some longer days. But if it's easier to just pass it off on somebody else, and I think that's the bigger problem. I don't think that the software developers are code monkeys. I think that the companies would appreciate if they would actually put more thought into the software that they were building. Here's an example. I heard this example from Robert C. Martin, Uncle Bob, where when Volkswagen was going through its craziness with some defects in the cars that were I think they were killing people and stuff like that, and the CEO of Volkswagen was brought before Congress. Who got the blame for what happened? Hmm? Who got the blame? The CEO threw the software engineers under the bus. So, if that's the case, if you're going to get the blame one way or the other, you better use your best judgment. You better give your best insight and think about what are the ways we can do this better? What are the ways that we can do this better? What are the ways that we know that we're not going to Isn't it like part of the doctor's oath or something like that? Do no harm. Well, software engineers also can do great harm, and they because that's what a doctor might harm one person. Not saying it's intentional, but they might harm one person, two people, whatever. They might have malpractice or something. But a doctor is not developing code where it can affect millions of people. Thinking about the Volkswagen example. How many like when you see a recall happen for a car, how many cars get recalled? When we see these security breaches that are happening, how many people get affected? Those are software engineers, QA engineers, etc., who are causing that harm. Not intentionally. It's not intentional. But if you take the approach of I am just going to sit here and do my job and not think about the extra stuff, that's when you're gonna hate your job. And then you're gonna start feeling like that code monkey. But I'll tell you this, with the team that I work with, the engineers are the ones who are coming up with the solutions. We have the reign to come up with the solutions. We're actually one of the model teams. I had another Q engineer reach out to me saying, "Hey, like I see your team is doing this. Can I come to one of your like? Can you tell me how you guys do this?" I'm like, "Hey, want to come to our stand up? And you can see how we run things." And he goes, "Yeah, oh, I really like how you guys do A, B, and C. I'm gonna try to implement that with my team." But I think that if and it's not a one person thing. It has to be a team. Because let's say there's one engineer who's taking an initiative, but everyone else is not. Kind of reminds me of what I'm seeing in a certain sports league right now. Everyone is coming for this one new person when that person is shining a light on this organization, right? So I'm like, you have to like come together as a team to make it happen. And you guys can take over when you guys are the ones designing the solution because you guys know better. We engineers know better. The product manager, the managers, whatever, they can come and say, "Hey, this is the direction that the company is looking to go in. How can we make that happen?" Instead of saying, "Okay, we're gonna write all the stories, and you just have to do it." That's when you get into that code monkey territory. And I was at a company where when going back to that other question, when is your cue to leave? Going back to that other question, when I was like, I think it's time to go because when the developers, they're just like, all right, I'm just gonna do whatever you tell me. We don't put any input in it, and the developers don't put any thought behind it. The QAs don't put any thought behind it, and I'm like, well, I don't like doing the same thing over and over again. I want to win, so I was like, all right, I'm out of here. But now at the company that I'm at, we develop the solutions for the company. They'll come to us and say, "Hey, we want to save this much money, or we want to do this, we want to do that." I'm like, "All right, cool. Let's figure out how to do it." And we always win in the end. All right. So I'm gonna wrap that one up.
I was deep in the zone, fingers dancing on the keys. Thought I'd nail this project, bring my boss to his knees. But the clock kept ticking, night turning to day. Then I woke up in panic, all my plans blown away. Lost in the dark, was it all in vain? I'm staring at my screen, it's a pixelized hell. Falling into despair, like I'm under a spell. Late nights and lost dreams, feels like I'm cursed. Now I'm fighting this battle, but the pain only worsens. Try to piece it together, but the words just won't flow. Rewriting my thoughts like a painter with no show. My boss points the finger, says I'm slacking the grind, but he don't see the battles that are raging in my mind. Drowning in doubt, feeling trapped in this game. I'm staring at my screen, it's a pixelized hell. Falling into despair, like I'm under a spell. Late nights and lost dreams, feels like I'm cursed. Now I'm fighting this battle, but the pain only worsens. Try to piece it together, but the words just won't flow. Rewriting my thoughts like a painter with no show. My boss points the finger, says I'm slacking the grind, but he don't see the battles that are raging in my mind. Drowning in doubt, feeling trapped in this game. I'm staring at my screen, it's a pixelized hell. Falling into despair like I'm under a spell. Late nights and lost dreams, feels like I'm cursed. Now I'm fighting this battle, but the pain only worse. Cause code once a treasure, now it's ashes and flames. Still I rise from the shadows, won't be muted by shame. Yeah, yeah, but the pain only worsens. Yeah, I was deep in the zone, fingers dancing on the keys. Thought I'd nail this project, bring my boss to his knees. But the clock kept ticking, night turned into day. Then I woke up in panic, all my plans blown away. Lost in the dark, was it all in vain? I'm staring at my screen, it's a pixelized hell. Falling into despair like I'm under a spell. Late nights and lost dreams, feels like I'm cursed. Now I'm fighting this battle, but the pain only worse. Cause code once a treasure, now it's ashes and flames. Still I rise from the shadows, won't be muted by shame. Yeah, yeah, but the pain only worsens. This code once a treasure, now it's ashes and flames. Still I rise from the shadows, won't be muted by shame.